Hey, Gary here. Welcome to Bookmob episode 64. Today I'm just going to do a quick episode because I want to talk about a writing competition that's fairly well known in Australia, well, New South Wales, I guess. It's the Grieve Project from the Writers Centre in Newcastle. Now, I have entered the Grieve competition a few times, but obviously I've never won anything or haven't even got onto the shortlist. Nevertheless, you keep trying. And why would you enter a writing competition? It's great for your general writing abilities. It helps enhance your narrative skills because you really, well, I do put a lot of effort into my chosen format because, in fact, the format is, I'm sure it's expanded, but you've got prose, poetry, images, artwork, audio, video, and already that's changed it from a writer centre, but I suppose images, artwork, and videos and audio, that's all part of the tableau now of different types of narrative texts. And obviously I'm sticking with writing, and I'll be doing a prose piece. Now the prose piece is only 500 words, and I sometimes wonder if it's mainly for poetry. I've tried to write poetry. I'm sure many of us had. Many of us have tried to write poetry. It's one of those things you do, particularly when you're young. And then as you get older, you kind of look back and go, oh, geez, what was I thinking? Anyway, so the prose aspect of 500 words, it's really got to be a tight, fitting narrative that you're sending in with any hope to gather interest or positive reviews from the judges. Now, who can enter? You've got to be 18 and over. Everyone in Australia, and apparently it's Australians can be residing anywhere in the world. So if you're out there in London, give this a go. Okay, now the thing about writing competitions is fees. You've got to pay an entry fee. I don't have a problem with paying entry fees. It does limit the amount of writing competitions that I enter because basically, if you're entering into a big prize, and I think the Writers Centre, I think I don't know what the actual prizes are, but I'm sure it's cash, so something like $1,000 or something like that. So the 25 entry fee is kind of like your business investment in yourself and saying, this is an opportunity for me to get my work out there. It's my opportunity to test myself. And if you do win, hey, $1,000 is pretty good. However, the entry fee for non-members of the Hunter Writers Centre, I'm a non-member, is $25.85. That's for one entry. You can enter as many times as you want, but you've got to pay the $25.85 per entry. So I'll only be entering one, and so that will be my entry fee. And again, I've looked around on the internet. I did look up entry fees, and what does an entry fee do? Is an entry fee, does it go towards the competition, or does it go towards, say, the entire centre? They may have many other aspects of them supporting local writers in the Hunter region. Even though I don't live in the Hunter region, I live in Sydney. But at the end of the day, like I said, I'm only going to enter very few competitions with admission fees because, well, it just becomes too much. I mean, I suppose the amount of effort that I'm going to put into my 500 prose piece is going to be a significant amount of time and a significant creative effort, so that when I do hand it in, I've got to feel that I'm putting my $25.85 to good use. I'm not going to bitch and moan if nothing happens, as long as I know that the effort that I've put in is 100%. It's like any, excuse me, it's like any small business, and writers in a sense are small business people, that if you invest in your own work and use writing competitions as a means to test your work, as a way to find out if other people would have any interest in reading your work, well, then it's worth every cent. Obviously, there are one of the things I've been told to look at in my research about paying entry fees to competitions is if you're asked to pay a significant entry fee like $25 to $50, make sure the prize that you're aiming for is quite substantial, because there's no point paying $25 for entry fee for a competition that gives you $100. But on the other hand, there are competitions that are better to win without the money, purely because of their status in the circles of literature, and that might help you get your books up into people's minds. You might find a publisher who might contact you and say, you wrote a great story for this, have you got anything else? So it's all about taking the opportunity, taking the chance to give yourself an opportunity to put your work out there. So, excuse me, I've got a frog in my throat. So for prose, it's 500 words. If you're going to write a poem, the line limit is 36 lines. Now, the 500 words also includes titles and subheadings. And I won't go into the image of the video audio because I'm not interested in that. You've got to enter in 12-point font. Doesn't say what text to use. What else? Okay, now this is probably important. The use of AI tools. Now, I'm sure that people are using AI on a exponential level daily. For all we know that someone has just gone to AI and has said, please create me a 500 prose story on grief. And when they take it out of the machine, they kind of jiggle it up. So I don't know how I would never use AI to create a story. I wouldn't even use AI to create a basis for a story, because to me, there's something going on that is, I'm sure there are people out there who'll say, "Oh, I could write an AI story and you wouldn't know." And I'm going, you know what? You're probably right, and that's a worry. Anyway, so the Grieve Project values the authenticity of the lived experience and human creativity. So do I. So you must, at the very least, if there's anyone out there who's going to be entering Grieve this year and decides to use AI for, maybe they'll say, give me some ideas. I don't know if that counts as using AI. I'm sure. If you just say, give me some ideas, and then you put them on the side, and then you go off that, I don't know. It's hard to say. So it says, obviously, while standard digital aids, spell checkers and grammar correctors may be used. And is that AI or is that a language model? I don't know. Such as generative AI tools such as ChatGPT, Sundowrite or similar must not be used to compose or significantly alter their creative content. Now, are they taking this on trust, on honor, or do they have a means of finding out if your work has been generated by AI? I'm not sure. I have no idea. I just hope that, I guess, the whole thing with AI is its ease. Like I saw someone the other day, I was in their office, and I don't know much about AI and that, and I said to her, can you get it to do something for me? And I said, yeah. And I said, just create a 10-minute play, and I gave it some guidelines, and bang. And I was scared. I was shocked. I thought, oh no, I don't like this. Though when I did read it, there were so many aspects of the AI that just went like it's, you give me a picture of a hand, it gives you 8 fingers. You know what I mean? So there's something still not working in AI. So hopefully people create the personal lived experience of creative minds will overcome what's going to happen in the future, because I'm thinking that maybe I guess advertisers won't need copywriters anymore. You could just say, I've got this product, can you please give me something that's going to catch the public's eye? Give me a slogan, political propaganda. They're all going to really, really use AI in order to get their message across. So maybe in the long run, lived experiences with a seal of approval of the creative human mind will be something that people will seek out, because we're going to be flooded with AI, photographs, movies, music, plays, books. And sooner or later, people are going to get, I don't know, it just could go anywhere, couldn't it? It literally could be again, I don't know much about AI, but all I know is that the few things that I've seen has blown me away, and I'm like in a minor level of using any AI. I think I used Grok a couple of times on the X application, and I've used chat GPT in someone else's computer, and just to for curiosity, and it did blow me away and did surprise me, did shock me. All right. So one of the main things you've got to understand is that by entering the Grieve Project, the entrant warrants that all necessary rights to publish their entry. It hasn't been previously published or licensed by publication. Like if you wrote a story for some other competition 2 years ago, you can't really use the same one because the other company or the other writer, the other centre holds the rights to that because they had the competition, and if you won it, well, there you go. The manuscript is their original creation, not beady, what's up, Buck? This is a good one. For the best of their knowledge, their manuscript is not defamatory. Now, defamatory, I'm sure if you're a lawyer, you could give me a term. You could explain to me what defamatory is. Well, I guess I could use AI, look up, what is defamatory? But I guess that is also somewhere where the world is changing. Sort of the guise, I mean, if you wrote a character who said certain things or did certain things as a character, I still feel that people can't separate their anger or their sort of ignorance from knowing that the writer's creating a scene using whether it be foul language or even racist language or political propaganda. If it's within the context of the character, people are still losing their shit about stuff like that. So I guess that's all up in the clouds right now because no one really knows who's going to be offended. Doesn't say anything about offence, it says defamatory, but I don't know. Obviously, the manuscript does not infringe on any existing copyright or license or any other third-party rights. So it's your work. I mean, that's it's funny. I think they have to write this, even though people who write into writing competitions generally are very hobbyists or people pursuing a writing career. Why am I doing it? I just do it because I enjoy reading. I enjoy books. And I have been writing, since I was a child, just as an expression of my creative impulse. And I haven't written I haven't actually written for a competition in a long time. I just picked up this one earlier this week and went, yeah, I remember, I'll give it another go. So I am going to give it a go, and I'll let you know how I'm going before I send it off. Okay, I'm just reading some of the stuff. If there's anything faintly interesting that you need to know. Assessment of judging, stage 1. An independent tutorial team reviews all eligible submissions and selects a long list for publication in anthology and online gallery. That's the other thing. Grieve creates an anthology of people who've achieved a satisfactory entrant, and I think it comes out once a year, and I think they sell for about $30. So if you don't win, you still might get published in the Grieve online anthology, which is I'm sure is online, but it's also in hard copy. Stage 2, the long list is assessed by a panel of judges, including sponsor representatives, who determine the award recipients. Obviously, the judges and decisions are final. They don't provide feedback on individual entries. I guess it would be good to enter a competition with a entry fee, and regardless, maybe you pay an extra $10 or something to get some professional feedback. Maybe that would be an incentive for some writers to actually get, we appreciate your story, but blah, 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 this, it doesn't reach our standard, or whatever else. So maybe that would be good to get feedback. I think feedback is probably more, and in the early stages of a writing career, feedback is probably one of the most important aspects of learning how to create and write, not just for a living, but even for a serious hobby. So this is interesting. Submissions referring to suicide will be judged with audience impact in mind. Hunter Writers Centre adopts Mindframe Stage and Screen Resource Book PDF. Okay, so when the word grieve comes up, it's funny. Obviously they must get a lot of stories about suicide the irony of that is my story is about suicide. I just found this now. I didn't see this before when I was flicking through it, but it must, obviously there's something, maybe, I don't know, legally they have to say about it, because I know you can't report suicides in the media as, if someone famous dies, they just say passed away. And that's funny. The not telling tells you in some circumstances. But anyway, okay, so I'll have to check out the Stage and Screen Resource book. Ooh, okay. Maybe real names, I suppose, would be something that they would frown upon. But if this is a creative endeavor, I'm sure that people would just be very, very mindful. It's their own experience. It's a grieved, the whole point is a lived experience. So it's your lived experience. If it comes through suicide, well, perhaps, using other pseudonyms. Well, anyway, I mean, I can see the sort of, the danger of maybe hurting someone. But at the end of the time, I mean, I don't know. To actually have a mind frame stage and screen resource book. I mean, is that like art by committee? I don't know. Still. Now, prize winners may be required to participate in media-related events associated with the competition. Paparazzi! Yeah, well, I don't know how many people will end up, maybe, I don't know how. See, again, I try to look up how many entries the Hunters Writers Centre gets over the year. And it's impossible to find the numbers. It just keeps coming up with articles. It's very hard to find out. The other thing I wanted to find out is how much has the entry prize fee changed in the years that it has been running. I couldn't find that information either, because all the old pages that, like if you go in Grieve 2016, if you go back there, you'll have Facebook, whatever post, you'll go back to the app and it's gone. So anyway, by entering the Grieve Project, you give permission to the Hunters Writers Centre to publish your work in the anthology. Okay, the copyright to the work is retained by the artist. As a publisher of the Hunters Writers Centre, the first publication rights to all submitted works. Okay, and may use any title or phrase from any entry for the purpose of promoting the competition. And fair enough. Any collection of public or publication after the Grieve Project that includes the author's story should acknowledge the competition, for sure. Copyright resides with the author. The shortlisted author grants the Hunters Writers an exclusive license to publish story in relevant Hunter Writers Centre print and online publications for 3 months after the date of the first publication. Okay, so again, if you're a writer, you're a reader, $25.85. Why don't you, even if you, I prefer if someone has never entered a writing competition, we'll just do it and see how far you go. You never know. You could have a talent out there just waiting to bust open. Okay, important. Entrants who have been selected for the long list will be notified in August 2025 during the National Grieve Awareness Month. Grieve Awareness Month. Long-listed artists will be contacted directly. We do not contact entrants who are losers. Okay. The Grieve anthology will be published and launched in October 2025. Now, the closing date. When's the closing date? It should be like pretty important. I know it's missing. Why can't I see it? Oh, look, I even highlighted it. Closing date for submissions is Monday, the 30th of June, 2025, 5 p.m. Okay, so this episode is purely about you as writers, readers, wannabe authors. The Hunters Writers Centre Grieve competition, entry fee $25.85 for non-members. Perhaps you can stir your creative juices. Go for a poem. You've got to be 18 years and over, by the way. I've mentioned that, but I'm just saying it again. Prose, which is what I'm attempting to do. Prose. Okay, so prose basically is writing that doesn't follow a a structure, defined meter. You know, like it doesn't have a rhythm. But I mean that's a dictionary definition, so it doesn't matter. You can have a prose that has rhyme and meter, but it doesn't necessarily. But in order for it to be prose, it's got to not be with rhyme and meter, as in a poem. You create it like music, bong biddy bing biddy bong biddy bong, syllables and stressing syllables and you know, whatever. So 500 words. Okay, so I've already scratched out a couple of pages, and all three are different stories. I'm just throwing down ideas because I'll start concentrating. I'll pick an avenue of prose to follow, and how I'm going to direct myself to give myself the best opportunity to get noticed at the Hunter Writers Centre Grieve Competition 2025. So I'm very happy, and I enjoy the challenge, and it feels good to be able to have a point to take care of, to sit down every day and work on something, work hard on something, so that by the time you hand it in, you're ready to go and you feel good about your work. So that's it for today's episode. Remember, Hunter Writers Centre Grieve prose poetry competition with audio video now. Have a go, check it up. I'll put links to the website and that in the description, and hopefully you'll give it a go. Now, I just finished volume 1 of the life of D.H. Lawrence. This is the early years, 1885 to 1912. That was tough. I started reading volume 2, and I had to give it a break because it's really dry. I mean, it's magnificently curious and interesting, but I really had to. It just sort of all the dryness, all the textual sort of power just sapped me dry. Sapped me dry. So I then decided to read another Stephen King novel that I thought I read them all, but this is another one I haven't read. This could be the last one I haven't read. And I'm also going to read Stephen Graham Jones' third trilogy, the third one in the Angel of Indian Lake. The what was the first one called? My Heart is a Chainsaw, and got the other one somewhere. Anyway, this is the end of the trilogy of the girl who's what do they call the final girl. So I'm looking forward to reading that. I'm getting through this pretty thick. And again, that's it for Bookmob, episode 64. Please, if you get this far, can you like and subscribe? Can you, if you feel good, could you please send in questions or submissions for what kind of books you'd like me to talk about? Because it's kind of getting lonely on this channel. I think my last video only got 2 views. Now, I'm not forcing people to watch it. It would be nice if more than one person saw it. In fact, what is it with YouTube? I had 2 views on my last video, and then when I went back to check it, it was back to 1. I mean, oh well. Thanks for joining Bookmob episode 64, and I'll see you again in the next episode. Bye.